Hello and welcome to my tutorial about tab. Although some people pick up the principles of tab almost straight away, a lot of people find it really hard. So I put together this film to try and address this. Here we go. Before we look at the detail of what tab is all about, we need to cover some of the basics. So you can see here there's two diagrams of two common stringed instruments, the ukulele and the guitar, and of course tab applies to all stringed instruments really, but we're just going to look at the two basic ones here. So with the ukulele we've got the headstock with the tuners, the nut there, and then we've got the neck of the instrument leading from the headstock down to the body, likewise the same with the guitar. And these lines here, as is pretty obvious, are representing the strings, and the same with the guitar. So we've got the 4 strings on the ukulele there, we've got the 6 strings of the guitar there. These lines here are called frets, and they lead all the way down the instrument. They don't just stop there, they carry on all the way down, as we can see here. So looking at it in a bit more detail, we've got the headstock. This part is called the nut. We've then got the frets, which we've numbered, and the numbers obviously carry on because the frets go all the way down until it gets to the body of the instrument. And this part is called the fretboard. And on a ukulele, the string that's nearest your knees, further away from you when you actually got it in the playing position, that's the first string, which is called A. The next string up is the second string, E, third string, which is C, and then G, which is your 4th string. And ukuleles can either have a high G or a low G, depending on the instrument. So now that we've sort of established the basics, the important thing to learn here is that these lines, which represent the strings, is basically what tab is all about. So these lines here are exactly the same as those there, and they're just literally representing the strings of your instrument. As you can see, there's 4 zeros on this tab diagram, and the 0 means that you're going to be plucking the A string, which is the first string, the one nearest to your knees, with your right thumb, but no fingers on the fretboard with your left hand. And as there's 4 zeros, that means you pluck this string 4 times. And this is what it sounds like on the ukulele. Now this next diagram is the same principle again. You've got the 4 strings of the ukulele as before, and you've got a series of the number 1s there, and the 1 means that you're plucking the A string again, but this time you're using your first finger of your left hand placed in front of the 1st fret, and that's centrally between the nut and the 1st fret, as I'll show you in a minute, and you pluck this string 4 times, as there are 4 1s. The position your finger will be in, so this is your ukulele lying sort of flat in front of you if you like, is your first finger on that string in the position for the 1st fret, so it's halfway between the nut and the fret. So anytime you're playing a string, you want to position your finger slap bang in the middle, not on the fret, not near the fret because it will buzz, but right in the middle, right there. And to show you what that actually looks like, there's the headstock of my ukulele, the 4 strings running down, my first finger of my left hand, and I'm placing it in that position before the 1st fret, sort of bang in the middle between the nut and the 1st fret, pressing it down, holding it, and then I would pluck the string. So that's the position you would be in to play with the tab that shows 1. As a general rule, you used your first finger of your left hand for pressing on any string on the first fret, your second finger for pressing on any string on the second fret, your third finger for the third fret, and your little finger for the fourth fret. However, there are exceptions to this when playing more advanced tunes, but for now assume that the number not only applies to the fret, but also to what finger you use on the fretboard. So just to illustrate that a bit more, generally it's your first finger that plays any of the strings there, your second finger any of the strings there, third finger any of the 4 strings there, and your little finger, your pinky, for any in that position there. Right, in this diagram you can see that you're going to be plucking 2 strings this time, not at the same time but in succession. The first string, the A string, is plucked with your thumb of the right hand, whilst holding down the same string with the first finger of your left hand just in front of the first fret, as you've done before. Repeat this again, but this time using your second finger just in front of the second fret. Hence the reason you've got your 1 there and your 2 there. So your left hand, you'd have your first finger, first fret on that A string, and then your second finger on the second fret on the same string. Now you're going to be plucking the third string, which is the C string, whilst holding down this string with your first finger in the first fret position, followed by plucking again with your second finger in the second fret position. And that's the positions on the diagram there. So for that string, the string that's nearest your knee, first finger, first fret, then second finger, second fret, then your third note in this sequence, you're jumping 2 strings, first finger, first fret, second finger, second fret, and that translates to this. So that's your A string, and then you're jumping 2 strings down to your C string, so it's first fret, second fret. Now those of you that read music will already know that music notation is not written in a long line of notes, but is divided up into segments or bars. The same is true of tab. However, everything we've looked at so far still applies. Instead of the tab being presented as simple long lines like the strings, it is divided up into segments or bars, and this determines the timing of the tune and how it is to be played, just like a music manuscript. So if we look at the diagram, you'll see we've got exactly the same again. This represents the 4 strings of the ukulele, likewise the same with the guitar, except we'd have 2 extra lines down here. And all we've done is just put lines down there, which divides it up into bars. Now here's a simple scale. I'm first played on a ukulele and then on the guitar, following the principles that we've been learning. So again, we've got the 4 strings of the ukulele, just as a recap. A, which is nearest your knee, E, C and G. So we're going to use 3 strings. We're not actually playing on that one at all. So this is the 3rd string. So you're going to have open, so you're plucking that string with no fingers on the fretboard at all. Then you're putting your second finger, second fret on that string. Then you're going to jump a string. So open, so you're plucking the string, no fingers on your left hand at all. Then first finger, first fret on the same string. Then we're staying on the same string, so don't get confused because we've gone across a bar that something's altered. It hasn't. You're still on the same string, so it's third finger, third fret on that string. Now we're jumping up a string to the A string, and it's open again. It's 0, so it means no fingers on the left hand on the fretboard at all. So open, then same string, second finger, second fret, and then third finger, third fret, and that actually gives you a complete scale on the ukulele. And exactly the same fingering, but this time on the guitar, and because the guitar is tuned differently, it's actually in a different key, but it's exactly the same fingering again. As you can see, we're not playing those 3 strings on the guitar, it's just those 3. Those are the 3 that are furthest away from you or nearest to your knee, which is the E string, the B string, the G string. So the same again, that would be no fingers on the fretboard at all on the left hand. So it would be plucking with your thumb an open string, then second finger, second fret, jumping a string, playing it open, so no fingers on the left hand playing. Then you are doing first finger, first fret on the same string, then the same string again, third finger, third fret. Then we jump a string, plucking it open, no fingers of the left hand on there, same string again, second finger, second fret, and then third finger, third fret. And it sounds a bit like this. Here is the scale on the ukulele, so you can actually see what I'm doing. So open strings for open on the C string, then second finger, second fret, then jumping a string, open, then first finger, first fret, same string, then same string again, third finger, third fret, then jumping a string, up in pitch but down in respect to going towards your knee, open, second finger, second fret, then third finger, third fret. And here is a scale on the guitar, different key of course. So we're looking at the third string, which is string G, so open, then second finger, second fret, then we're jumping a string heading down towards your knee but it's going up in pitch, open, and then first finger, first fret of the same string, and then staying on the same string, which is the B string, third finger, third fret, then jumping a string again, heading again towards your knee, open, and then second finger, second fret, same string, and then third finger, third fret. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. It can be quite a complicated thing to get your head around, but once you've got the principle of tab, you'll find it really, really easy. It's far easier than learning music. Obviously, if you can learn music, proper music notation, that's wonderful. However, that does take a lot of time and a lot of effort. So if you want to be able to follow music quicker and easier, then tab is the way to go. And just spend a few moments going over this tutorial, perhaps go back and forward a few times and see if it gives you an inkling as to how to do it. And thanks for watching.